Hi everyone, my name is Kylie Chaney. I have been working alongside Dr. Bappistoli since the summertime, conducting the research included in this presentation. Our research is on quantitative assessments of speech errors in English as a second language, and we are excited to share our findings with you all. We will start by covering important background information on the topic. Our research question will be presented next, and then it will be followed by the method, results, and conclusion sections. When considering native and non-native speakers, English is the most widely spoken language in the world. Second language acquisition, which we can refer to as L2, and the research surrounding it is always evolving. L2 speech is most often accented than not. It's important to consider the accent of a non-native speaker as a symbol of ethnicity. Intelligible L2 speech can be acquired without eliminating accents. L2 acquisition is similar to child developmental speech, but it is an overall much slower process. This is because children have language learning abilities different from those of adults. It's important to consider how L2 acquisition is driven by perception and production. L1 perception and production interferes with L2 speech in many ways. L2 phonemes are organized within the perceptual space of L1, which results in interference between the properties of both languages. In order to acquire unfamiliar L2 sounds, the speaker must reorganize their perceptual space. Sound transference, orthographic misinterpretations, universal processes, and patterns of development are just a few examples of the types of interference non-native speakers face. Computer programs like Fawn are very useful for completing quantitative and qualitative analyses. For the purposes of this research, Fawn is beneficial to detecting speech patterns that will help us understand the challenges involved in L2 acquisition. This brings us to our research question. What does a quantitative analysis using percent phones correct reveal to us about phonological and articulatory skill in a second language? Spreadsheets are typically used in quantitative analyses of linguistic data. We use the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet to organize the data for easy accessibility throughout our research. The Speech Accent Archive is a very reputable resource. It exhibits a large variety of accented speech samples from different linguistic backgrounds. For this research, we decided to analyze the L2 speech patterns of 17 native Greek speakers. The sample included 9 males and 8 females between the ages of 18 and 81. The speakers had English onset ages from 3 to 25 years old, and their lengths of residency in English-speaking countries ranged from 0 to 44 years. The data was transferred to Fawn, and Fawn generated a percent phones correct report and a consonant vowel report. A small portion of each report is included on this slide to provide a visual of what we were working with. The PPC report presented a 59% phones correct accuracy for L2 speech. The CV report presented a 45.6% mismatch of consonant vowel patterns, which is 54.4% accuracy. The data helped us to identify important phonological errors in L2 speech that result in phonetic variations. The Greek and English languages have many differences at both the phonotactic and phonemic levels. These differences influence L2 production. For example, Greek speakers often produce English rhotic vowels in vowel-consonant format. This is because the Greek language has a clear vowel-rhotic segmental distinction. English vowels that are typically reduced, like the schwa, are often produced as full vowels by Greek speakers. This is understandable considering the Greek language has no tense or lacks phonemic distinction. A transparent approach to orthographic readings leads to misinterpretation. In simpler terms, L2 speakers may mistake a written letter for a speech sound. Universal processes like word final devoicing and deletion are also noteworthy because they have been detected in previous research. Words such as please are often characterized by final obstruent devoicing, and the word final consonant in and is almost always deleted. Transfer of Greek features is also notable in L2 speech. For example, allophonic palatal productions often result in L2 due to triggering linguistic contexts that resemble L1. There are also more consonant errors than vowel errors in L2 speech. The main conclusion we reached is that phonetic and phonological aspects of L1 ultimately influence L2. Our quantitative analyses from Fawn support this claim because the results presented heavily accented L2 speech. Quantitative analysis, such as those conducted in this research, is beneficial to the understanding of L2 acquisition because it helps to identify and analyze patterns of speech sound errors. Identification of common speech sound errors can facilitate language learning for the L2 speaker, clinical assessments, and future research on the topic. The references we used for this research are presented on this slide and the next. I would like to thank you all for listening to this presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.